everybody. A very good morning. It's a good Tuesday morning, and welcome to this edition of Gudday Grenada. I'm not quite sure why, but this morning I seem to have awakened with a theme in my head. How many of you remember that? That's from the Addams Family, isn't it? Certainly not one of my favorite old-time television shows, but that's what's been on my mind this morning, the Addams Family theme. For whatever reason. Just let me take a look here. Okay. There you go. Well, pilgrims, nice looking morning in town this morning. And I'm glad that you're with us. Don't expect to see too many of you this morning because we're coming to you via my George Grant page. Yeah, GeoBear. We've been having some trouble since yesterday logging on to Grenada Broadcast. I'm not sure. We have some ideas of what's going on, but we're still trying to resolve that issue. So hence the reason I put a note asking you to join me this morning on George Grant. Yeah? All right. By the way, I see somebody there on Grenada Broadcast this morning. Don't know how you managed to make it on there, Sawandi. There's John V. Grant as well this morning. Yeah. Okay, good to see you guys. Pilgrims, we are going to begin the day by asking a question. We've been asking questions all week, haven't we? And the one we're going to fire off at you this morning, right off the bat. Do we have another Molinere in the making? Do you know all that talk over the past few weeks about the land slippage that's taking place up on the west coast there in the Molinere area? Well, somebody sent me a video yesterday. I'm going to share that with you this morning because apparently Molinere is not the only place where that is happening. Okay. Then, I have another video for you this morning. And this particular video is captioned, Grenada not alone when it comes to squandamania. Remember the days of Eric Gary? That's as far back as we can probably remember, but God knows it probably went on for eons before that. Squandamania, huh? And I might dare say, it's still going on today, yeah. Well, you know, sometimes when stuff like that happens, we blame it all on Grenada. Man, you see what's happening in Grenada here? Look at this and look at that. It ain't just Grenada. It's not just Grenada. This is a global thing, especially when it comes to our neighbors to the north. It's happening everywhere. So I'm going to show you a video this morning, which I certainly hope is going to put your mind at ease and you realize, oh my goodness, it really isn't just Grenada, all right? We do have for you the national report as well. And then, because of the issues we've been having here, Ray is going to be in here in the flesh, sitting in that chair right across from me there this morning. So, there you have the rundown on this Tuesday morning, all right? Thank you very much for joining me. Down to brass tacks. Because this video is so short, I'm going to run it twice so you can have a really good look. He forgot to put on his thingy this morning. So now that he's got his thingy, let us poke the thingy in his earsy. It certainly looks like Grenada slowly slipping away in more ways than one. The land slippage at Molinere has already taken on national prominence. But, as you're about to see, it's not the only location which has become a major hazard. Take a look at what is happening in the parish of St. David. It's near to the transformer in a place called Upper Laura. Someone sent me this video yesterday, and like I said, I'm going to run it for you twice. Look very closely off on the right of your screen. All right, I'm going to keep my promise and run that for you again. Let me see here. What's going on here? 1, 2, there we go. Take a look. Scary stuff, isn't it? Scary stuff. And that is supposedly near a transformer in the Upper Laura area up in St. David's. Wow. Wow. Look at that. Quite frankly, on the right there, that's the sort of type of crack that I saw in the Molinere area before all hell broke loose. Hey? Isn't that scary? All right. Well, you've seen it with your own eyes, okay? I hope they can get cracking on that in a real hurry, real hurry. Now, not that this will make you feel any better about what's happening here in Grenada, okay? But at least it shows that we are not alone. It shows how badly needed resources simply evaporate into thin air in the United States. And here too, I might add, right? That's the whole thing behind the story. Happens here as well. But I'm sure as you watch this, you'll agree with me that perhaps the most appalling part of this is listening to the justifications that are presented. Here's a restroom, a toilet that cost $2 million. $2 million bucks. Check this out.
Here it is. This little building is a $2 million bathroom. $2 million? I had to check it out.
I was expecting gold-plated fixtures. It's just a toilet, couple urinals, 2 sinks, $2 million?
Do the people who use this park know what taxpayers paid for their bathroom? What should something like this cost?
A couple thousand.
70,000, approximately 100,000 maybe. Or maybe
They spent $2 million.
for this, unbelievable.
Wow. Wow.
You could buy a nice house here for $2 million.
Price, yeah. You could buy a big house here.
You can. This nearby house was advertised for much less. It has 6 bedrooms.
In the millions for this? This is ridiculous. Where does the money go?
Good question. Everything costs more when government builds it. Washington, D.C.'s visitor center was supposed to cost $265 million. It ended up costing $600 million. The Veterans Affairs Medical Center near Denver was projected to cost $590 million. Now they estimate 1.7 billion. Government spends more because every decision is tied up in endless rules. Minority outreach, wheelchair access, zoning rules, and much more.
Your department puts out a statement. The current estimate to build a new bathroom is $3 million.
It is now approaching, in some cases, going over $3 million.
Mitchell Silver is New York's Parks Commissioner.
This is the most expensive market in the world.
So $2 million was a good deal here?
$2 million was a good deal. We build these conference stations to last.
But you can buy whole houses in that neighborhood for less than what you spent on this bathroom.
I hear that point often, and if you look at the material that we use compared to a home, these are very, very durable material.
That's nice. But this bathroom is made of durable materials, too. It's so beautiful that a newspaper said it might be the fanciest in New York. Yet it cost 1/5 as much. Why? Well, it's in nearby Bryant Park, and Bryant Park is privately managed.
Bryant Park built one with just as many sinks and toilets for 1/5 the price.
Bryant Park did a renovation. When we build our conference stations, we do it from the ground up.
But why?
Why they knock down the old one? It just looks the same thing.
Commissioner Silver says this has to be especially sturdy because
We're going to expect thousands, if not hundreds and thousands of visitors in that facility over its life cycle.
But privately run Bryant Park gets more use. No comparison. It's so busy, people wait in line to get in. Yet another reason government work costs more is that government pays more.
We pay prevailing wage, so we...
Prevailing wage.
Prevailing
meaning
wage.
Union wage.
This is a city that does believe strongly in labor, and they want to make sure that people get paid a prevailing wage.
Prevailing wage turns out to mean union wages. Sometimes more than $100 an hour. That makes everything cost more. And when we watched, the workers didn't seem to work very hard. The final reason this costs so much is that it took years to build it. It took less time to build the Empire State Building.
We've now saved 5 months out of what used to be 4 years, 5 years for a project. We're now doing them 3 years, in some cases under. So we've shaved 5 years off.
Whoop-de-doo. So instead of 5 years, it's 4.5 years? That's still terrible.
No, actually, we're 3 years, and now we just finished one of our projects in under 3 years.
Why does it take you 3 years to build a bathroom?
We have a process that includes design, procurement, and construction.
But so does the private sector.
Ours, because of the public project, we believe very strongly in engaging the public.
Engaging the public means things like the city planning department's uniform land use review procedure. Try doing something quickly while following these rules.
Clearly, private sector does not have to go through that same process.
This is a good thing, the public process? All these meetings?
Oh, yes, it's a good thing.
That's a ridiculous amount of money.
One little building, $2 million. That's government at work.
Wow, wow, wow. You know, like I told you, it was the explanations that really, really floored me. You know, I didn't realize it at the time, but maybe now I know why I've had the Adams theme on my mind this morning. Crazy stuff, eh? Margaret says here, interesting that minority and disabled requirements were at the top of the list of reasons that makes things more costly. Things that make you go, yeah, Max, such is life. Ah, boy. And by the way, I really haven't, yes, I have, technically. I have ignored you guys this morning. But let me say hi to social media this morning. Let me see here. So Wendy, first up this morning. That's because we're on a slightly different platform this morning, right? Good morning, Wendy. Congrats. John V. Grant saying good morning. Max is saying good morning. Lydia James is saying good morning. Bailey Darbo. Hello, Bailey Darbo. You made my voice croak, Bailey. So Wendy's there as well. And Lydia James is saying, wow. Only a wooden barrier there. She's referring to that piece we showed you from St. David. Only a wooden barrier there. Can you stop a vehicle from going down there? I remember a few years ago, vehicles went down there. Poor Grenada we. Yeah, girl. I just hope they get this one in the nick of time, if it's not too late already. Alrighty, pilgrims, let me take our first little break here on this Tuesday morning, and then we shall return with the National Report. Yep.
Inspection and licensing have begun, and at Hubbard's, we want you to be ready. From January to February 15th, we're offering vehicle owners with single registration letters 1 to 2,500 and plural registration letters 1 to 250, 10% off our new torque tires and Power Max batteries. Don't get caught unprepared. Visit us today at our motor department in Mungay or our tire bay in Grandance, located near Hubbard's Building Supplies.
I'm always on the move. Training, traveling, competing. So it's good to know I have Quad Bank in the palm of my hand.
Introducing e-banking, one of many customer convenience services from Grenada Cooperative Bank, and there's more to come.
It's swift, simple, and secure.
Together with you, our customers, we energize our community.
Together with you, we energize our economy.
We are working together to give our nation a better tomorrow.
With you, we energize our future. Together, we energize our nation.
Thank you for partnering with us as we energize our Spice Island.
Redleg, energizing our Grenada.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try the sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
Team West Indies gears up for T20 series on Wednesday, following the ODI series win against Ireland on Sunday. Details of this story and more in the National Report. Welcome back. With the details of the news for Monday, January 13th, 2020, I am Sharian Noel. West Indies is winner of the one-day international series after defeating Ireland in all 3 games. Manager of the West Indies men's team, Ron Lewis, in reviewing their performance, says it's always good to win tournaments, but consistency is important.
What is discussed in West Indies cricket team now is to be consistent with your performances. It doesn't matter the opponent. Every time you play cricket, you want to keep improving. You pinpoint the areas that you need to develop on and make sure as you go along, you continue to lessen on those areas so that you could have the complete package where you have a fully developed team that can perform at a high level. So winning any series, some people may say it's Ireland. Ireland have a very good cricket team. When we won in Afghanistan to go in India and beat Afghanistan, they also have a very good cricket team. So winning that series here is very good for us.
Lewis also spoke to the excellent performances with the bat by Evan Lewis during the series.
And honestly, he's a very talented cricketer, just like most of the other batsmen we have at the top of the order, even in the low order, because you saw what happened in Barbados, where the low order brought the game home. He continues to grow. He's a very aggressive player. As you know, he was known for limited overs batting, like he have T20 hundreds and so on, which he got picked up in the IPL. Now that we are seeing he is able to bat and control the innings in the longer version of the game. So that too is a plus for us at the top of the order, when you can get a batsman batting through the innings in more than one match as an opening batsman. That is pure development, and it's a very good sign for West Indies cricket.
Captain of the Ireland team, Andrew Balbirnie, says despite the loss, his men gave a good account of themselves during the series and is now better prepared for the T20 series.
Andy's been brilliant, Simi. Barry didn't have a great day today, but he bowled brilliantly the other day. There's a lot of performances we can be proud of. I thought Simi, particularly all three games, was superb. He spun the ball, he was economical, and I thought our effort was good in the field. I think we can be better in the field, there's no doubt about that. But you know, I can't fault the guys on the effort they put in over the three games. The power in their team is obviously suited to the T20. That I think most of their team are playing in the IPL or have played in the IPL. So it's going to be very difficult for us, but that's what we want. We're going to a World T20 at the end of the year, and we've got to be playing good cricket leading into that. So tests like this, the West Indies in 3 matches here, it doesn't get much tougher, but it's exciting because it's a huge opportunity for us, and if we can put in performances and our big players fire, then we can be competitive.
Captain of the West Indies men's team, Kieran Pollard, says the win over Ireland puts them in a better position mentally for the T20 series carded for Wednesday.
It's just a matter of, putting plans into place, getting guys to do things consistently, and again, also getting guys to trust the process. At the end of the day, you have to trust the process, you have to trust the system, and you have to be honest and trust the people around you as well, for guys to be comfortable so they can go out and perform. So again, trying to empower, the youngsters with, that responsibility and, being accountable and stuff like that, and, simple things like that, outside of the actual, cricket. We're working hard on the cricket, but a lot of conversations, outside of cricket. I think we ticked all the boxes in each and every department, batting, bowling, and fielding. It's something that we didn't do in the first couple of games. We got over the line in Barbados in the second ODI, and we didn't really bat well in the first ODI as well to get the score. So again, being consistent with the ball as well. So I think today playing that total team game in all aspects, I think was the touching factor for us.
Still with news of cricket, Grenada's Prime Minister, Dr. the Right Honourable Keith Mitchell, an avid cricketer, says he is very pleased with the turnout of Grenadians at the third and final ODI at the National Cricket Stadium on Sunday. West Indies won the match by 5 wickets after winning the toss and electing to field, restricting the Irish team to 203 for the loss of 10 wickets.
The turnout today is clearly to me an example of the interest of Grenadians in West Indies cricket. And it is well known that Ireland is not considered to be one of the top teams. And the fact that you have this turnout for a game of this nature on a Sunday with not a top team in the world cricket playing West Indies, I think is a clear example, demonstration of how Grenadians feel about cricket in general and West Indies cricket in particular.
With a contract already signed for the lighting of the facility by mid-year, Dr. Mitchell says it will only augur well for future games at the National Cricket Stadium.
I think one of the things you will see in the future with the advent of lighting of the facility, if we had lights, this game would have started about 1:30, and of course going to the evening. And of course you would have seen a much even bigger crowd. And then the T20 game on Wednesday would have started 7 o'clock. So you have 4 hours going up to 11, so you can imagine the entertainment. And that will come soon. In fact, I was talking to the West Indies coach and of course the manager of West Indies team, Roy Lewis and Simmons. And they both said they were looking forward to this. They said the players loved this ground. Paula, the captain, and the players loved the ground. The Grenadian ground. So with the love for this facility and with the country involved and the entertainment and the people, I think you will see a lot of good cricket matches here in the future.
Minister for Sports, Senator the Honourable Nolan Cox, says he too is very satisfied with the turnout, as he always knew Grenadians loved the sport of cricket.
On behalf of the Minister, of course, and the people of Grenada, we want to welcome the Irish team here and also persons who might be traveling with them. And we do hope they have a wonderful time in Grenada. Also, we see the turnout has been, as far as I learned, the turnout here has been probably the best of the 3 one-days from the other venues. So we are pretty happy about that. But also we are looking forward to more turnout on Wednesday, the shorter version of the game, our first T20. So we are happy about that. And so we want to thank persons who have supported and come out and continue to support West Indies cricket. This is important.
Manager of the West Indies cricket team, a former national and regional player, Raw Lewis, said the turnout of Grenadians in the stadium made him proud. And he also used the opportunity to commend the entire team responsible for preparing the facility for the game.
For the groundsmen and the Grenada Cricket Association and the Grenada government and everyone who put their effort together to get it up to that standard. Because you're not having international cricket here so often where you'd have to prepare it up to that standard. Let's say every month you got to get it up to that standard. The facility will be in pristine condition because you're always hosting. But we get a match, not very often. And to get it up to that standard, I have to give them praise for doing that. But there are always areas that we need to improve, which I've spotted a few areas, and I have to make some recommendations to the respective persons so that we continue to improve as well the facilities in the Caribbean. But this is a prime venue for West Indies team.
The West Indies team manager says he must also make mention of the exceptional reception received at the Morris Bishop International Airport on their arrival and the hotel for both teams. This is the National Report. More news after the break.
It's cricket again. West Indies versus Ireland. Grenada National Stadium, January 12th and January 15th. First, the Colonial Medical Insurance. Third, One Day International, January 12th, starting at 9 a.m. Then on January 15th, the first Sandals T20, starting time 1 p.m. Admission on both days. Members stand $25 US or $67 EC. The Junior Murray Raw Lewis stand $15 US, $40 EC. Posse stand $5.50 US, $15 EC. Senior citizens 60 and over get some free tickets while stocks last. Children 12 and under get a free ticket with the purchase of an adult ticket. Organize your posse. Get your tickets now and come support your team. January 12th and 15th.
Moving now to news of health, more developments are in the pipeline for the General Hospital. Minister for Health and Social Security, Honorable Nicholas Steele, recently announced that $1.5 million EC has been budgeted for the replacement of the current elevators at the hospital. He said the renovations will take 1 year.
This is going to be a lengthy process. It's going to take approximately a year to replace those elevators. The reason that it takes that long is because we have 2 elevators currently at the General Hospital. One of the elevators has to be removed and then a new elevator put in, and then after that is complete, the second elevator work can be done on the second elevator shaft to remove and then replace that one. This is to ensure that at no time is there the occasion or risk of not having a functioning elevator at the General Hospital.
Minister Steele also noted that efforts has been made to preserve the elevators in the past.
Those elevators are well past their as we would say, shelf life. We have embarked over the previous years on various efforts to maintain them, but in our opinion, it is now time to replace those elevators. The approximate budget on that is $1.5 million EC.
And finally, coaches, physiotherapists and doctors who were selected to participate in the first ever 2-day sports medicine conference initiated by former national basketballer Wilbur Thomas in collaboration with the Minister of Sports all commended the organizers for what they termed a wonderful gesture, an excellent opportunity to refresh their knowledge. Cyril Cox is one such coach that is very appreciative for the information shared by the medical professionals in the field of sports medicine.
It's very good for our doctors and our physiotherapists. It is also very good for our coaches because you have to understand what is going on with your athletes. And it's not just about loading your athletes, but you have to understand how your athletes feel and what you should do with them. What we are doing here is that we are getting a feel of it. Some of it is like a refresher to me, right? Because I've been through that through studies, but I think all coaches should be aware of the science in coaching. Know your athletes because you might be the one out there based on our culture. You might be the one out there with your athlete. And so based on what your athlete is going through, you would know exactly what to do with them.
Physiotherapist assistant Kelton Worm, coaches Jerry Lewis, Jake Rennie and Sebastian Steele all shared similar sentiments about the importance and timeliness of the conference.
This sports workshop has been very informative and educated to me
I've learned new skills, new techniques in examining the patients, and this will give me a better idea and a better way to diagnose the patient injury and have a better idea to treat them and able to get them to recuperate properly.
In Grenada, we have many athletes coming down with injuries, and sometimes we diagnose many times the wrong thing, and then we don't fix, eventually we don't fix the right thing. So I think the knowledge that we are gathering here today, well, over the past 2 days, yesterday and today, it's great, it's excellent. I had conversation with some people on the outside, and I said, the initiative by the Ministry of Sports to do this, it's a wonderful one, and it's served to show that if we're gonna develop sports, we definitely need people around this field, to actually take the sports to our next level.
To say thanks to the Ministry of Sports for organizing such an important workshop, and as a coach, I think it's very important because we as coaches also should know the importance of injury and those kind of stuff. So it is very important as I deal with different teams, and in Grenada, we don't always have a physio or someone around. So it's good for coaches to know some of the information they are passing on here today.
Dr. Andre Hamlet, who assists in sports medicine, says the workshop is indeed timely and the information shared very pertinent.
Okay. Well, it's very important.
The participants have been charged with the responsibility to share with their colleagues what they have learned over the 2 days. And with that story, we come to the end of the National Report for Monday, January 13th, 2020. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Sharian Noel, thanking you for viewing.
Conveniently located in the Grand Shopping Center, for over 40 years, Food Fair has provided quality service at affordable prices. Now, grocery shopping is made easier and more convenient from the Food Fair web store.
Hey, babe. Listen, I need you to go down to Food Fair to get some groceries.
All right, no problem. Right away.
Thanks, babe. What are you doing? You're supposed to be going food fair to get a grocery, man.
I am, but didn't you know you can order your groceries online from the Food Fair web store?
Are you serious?
Of course. All you have to do is just to log on to www.foodfair.gd with credit card in hand, and with an order of $100 or more, Food Fair Grenadans will deliver up to 3 miles away. And you don't even have to worry about your information, you know. Their safety measures are excellent.
So hold on. You just order online and Food Fair will deliver to you?
Yep,
Oh, baby, better hurry up and order, man.
I already did. They should be here any minute now.
Enjoy easy online shopping anytime from your home or office from the Food Fair web store. Food Fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try the sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
All right, folks. Margaret says, we can't hear you. Where the audio gone? Margaret, yes. You know, Max, for the past couple of months, things have been going pretty darn good, smoothly around here. I'm sure many of you remember the horrific time we had throughout a large chunk of last year, okay? You know, we went through a living hell. And I just pray to God that we're not headed back in that direction. But one cannot help but wonder. A couple of minutes ago, I started here babbling, and noticed that there was no audio. Well, yeah, you spotted that, but we got that matter resolved. There's another matter. I see Pele Darbo here says, somehow this morning I cannot get the live stream on Facebook. Watch. Through my Amazon Fire TV box. You're too damn fancy. That's your problem, Pele. He says, help. It is fine via my phone. Yeah. Pele, let me explain this. Yesterday morning we did this program absolutely fine. No hiccups. Yesterday afternoon, I went to do the program with Ruggles Ferguson, Law Made Simple, and suddenly noticed, hey, can't log on to GrenadaBroadcast.com. I thought, what the heck? Talked to my IT person, and he says to me, Mr. Grant, seems like your administrative rights have disappeared. We made no changes around here. Have not been notified of anything by Facebook. So right now we're trying to iron out that problem. However, I am with you guys this morning, thankfully, on my other page, George Grant, GeoBear, okay? So, yeah, thank you very much for hanging in there. Jackie O says, it's raining in Washington, D.C. this morning. Let's see who. Judy Benoit. Hello there, Judy Benoit. Nice seeing you on the streets the other day, girl. Anthony DeRiggs says about that cricket story. You know, I'm sure that Anthony is ecstatic that the Windies pulled that off. But Anthony is saying here, nice cricket ground. Next up, nice hospital, I hope. Don't hold your breath, Anthony. Now, he is here. Let me see if I can talk him into putting on a headset. Put on that headset there, Mr. Rabats. Mr. Rabats, how are you this morning, sir?
I would say pretty okay.
Yeah, just bring the microphone a little closer to your mouth.
Closer, right?
Yeah? Okay. You good?
I would think so. Morning to you and morning to your viewers and listeners.
Boy, they're there this morning, but a lot of them are scampering this morning because, as you heard me mention a little while ago, we are having some trouble with the Grenada Broadcast page.
Okay.
But we are on Facebook, and we will be up on YouTube. So, great weekend, I hope.
I would not complain at all. There were many things
You never complained.
to enjoy.
Yeah? You went to cricket?
No, as I said to you, I look at it on television mainly. I am not really yet acculturated with all these searches that you'll have in North America. I still maintain I live in the 70s when I could have gone to cricket and moved from one stand to the other and share a drink or a piece of food. I'm not really, you move to this one, somebody said you're blocking me. I don't know that I will ever, I wouldn't miss a local game because you're freedom, but I don't know. I'm not in Afghanistan or America.
It's become too rigid, you're saying?
Yeah, for people like me who, grew up enjoying sports in a particular way. I'm not prepared to make this huge adjustment.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's something you have to get used to because
I will not. I would look at it on television. I think I see more. I relax. I could choose
But
what I
then
want
again-
to do, lie down on a chair, lie down on the bed, sit on the veranda, whatever.
if the game is not well sold in the local market, you ain't going to see it on TV.
No, there are other ways you can see it now. You don't depend on GBN or whoever carrying the game anymore. Fire Stick. There's so many different ways you can.
Fire Stick?
Yeah, so many different ways.
You
you
guys
can-
talking over my head here.
Yeah, well, I have no knowledge. I just happen to know people who can, ESPN continues to carry it, maybe they block it to this part of the world, but, things have changed. I can't even unfold what is really happening.
All right, notwithstanding that you did not go to the games, the fact is the West Indies won a match.
Yes, I was. I looked at it almost ball by ball, except the interruption for the bathroom and to go to get something to drink. I looked at it, I listened to the commentators, and it was a nice atmosphere, I would say, without a doubt. The Irish seems to have fitted into the Grenada mood of things.
Yeah.
So it was quite nice. I thought it was quite nice.
Don't talk about going to the washroom. We were talking about a $2 million washroom a few minutes ago in the United States. Cost them $2 million to build a toilet.
For Trump?
Not for As far as I'm concerned, it's called the Golden Potty.
Okay.
You know what a potty was?
Yes.
In some places, I think they call it the posy.
Yeah, that was part of it too.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So now that we got over yesterday's game, what about tomorrow?
Well, I did an article. Maybe I'll share it with you. One thing that to me that stands out in this series is that you seem to have a lot more people enthusiastic about a better West Indies team. Ireland really is no match. We didn't. I would have been surprised that, we lose the series to Ireland. I know it's a game of great uncertainty, but I find that people are more seemingly optimistic that we are going to produce a better team, a more competitive team. That spirit to me is you can see it being manifested.
It's been a long
not
time
just
in coming,
at the
Ray.
games, but even in the streets. People think that something good will happen, something positive is happening.
That's great.
Yeah, so that's the kind of feeling I'm picking up. I read, I start reading news by reading sports. I don't begin looking at the real news. I begin with what is sports, the back page. I would follow the Chronicle from Guyana, those in the OECs that are available, the Trinidad newspapers, I get a sense that people feel, look, we may be about to make a turn around the corner. How big is the turn? I'm not too sure. But I myself beginning to feel that, they're looking that they are taking notice that nobody is noticing them. Nobody have noticed them in the last 2 years, and they ought to be noticed in 2020. So let's improve on what we're doing.
That's obviously a breath of fresh air to Grenadians, hearing you say that, there seems to be something positive happening. By the way, Pele Darbo says the game is carried on Sky Sports for with Fire Sticks and Android TV boxes, and also Flow Sports.
Well,
Show off.
I can see it to Pele.
Android boxes. Come on, Pele. Who are you talking to? Ray? Hold on,
All
hold
I
on,
can
hold-
say to Pele, he has done a wonderful job by the football results. You know, you can't follow everything because you only could look at one television at this.
Yeah.
Right. So you can be on your WhatsApp or on your whatever. Pele puts up the scores of the English football match, halftime, the Woodland Islands cricket scores. So that's the kind of spirit I'm talking about. I mean, regional tournament, we beat Barbados in St. Vincent, the Woodland Islands. Defending champions Guyana 1-2. And there was Pele, better than what we have now as sportscasters, keeping you lunchtime, tea time, end the play.
Okay.
So Pele, you're doing a great job, and it brought me back to yesteryear.
Let me ask, you retired, Pele?
No, Pele can't retire.
Well, he obviously has time on his hands.
He may be rich.
Sold a lot of beer. He's made a correction to his note here. Let me read it. He says the game is carried on Sky Sports for those with Fire Sticks and Android TV boxes, and also Flow Sports.
Right.
He says, I found it strange that it's not geo-blocked. But he found it strange that it was not blocked here.
Okay. Well, as I said, you know, there's little you can do now because you can pick it up on so many different, people of all levels have all that he spoke about. You go in homes and they have all that facility. You know, the fast stick, somebody was telling me about it. I was wondering, what the hell is this? He said, you know, he look at golf, he look at tennis. He said, Ray, I look at it as it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Darbo says, I'm happily retired.
He's actively retired.
Pele, when I grow up, boy, I want to be like you.
You better plan for the next one. Because he's up on top of a hill. Is it Mount Fat?
I know.
Yeah, he's somewhere on top of a hill, Mount Fat. Not many of us could get on the peak of a mountain.
On top of the world,
Yeah.
Pele.
Yeah. Tell us where it is. Mount Fan? Pan or whatever it is.
He did work hard. He has worked hard through his...
Well, he's a nice guy. That's
He's a
what I
nice
like to
guy.
say about him. You know, we have been together as sporting enthusiasts from way back, I would say, the late 60s. Well, he has disappeared. He has moved to richer territories. So I can't get there. So I just see him on Facebook.
Margaret Francis, Margaret has chimed in on this now.
All
So
right.
you better watch where you're going from here. Okay, Margaret has arrived. She says, all good, Pele, but what happens to those who do not have access to those technologies, which accounts for a whole lot of people in the world? Yes, mags like me, for example. All I have is a little smartphone. Beep, beep, beep. Yeah.
Well, in her world, she'll provide it. I know she's a good heart person. And I think...
They both are.
Yeah?
These two folks are. They
Right. So I believe for those of us who are unable to get that far, you wouldn't be able to give everybody one time, but myself and George, I think, put us down in your 2020 list of gifts.
Yes. What's it called? A Fire Stick and an Android TV box. And a Flow Sports.
Yeah.
And by the way, Pele says he's at Mount Fan in St. Andrew.
Okay, how you spell that one?
FMT.FANN.
So simple.
So simple.
I thought it was more affluent than that.
Pele, aren't you glad you showed up this morning? Don't you wish you'd stayed in bed this morning? Oh, Ray. All right. Now, Ray, you sent me a little column a couple of days ago.
Correct.
About Intercall.
That's correct.
Are we going to have, hold on a sec. Margaret says, Pele boy, Ray and them really mashing you up.
Oh, Margaret gives a lot of trouble. And I think you'll be remembered for giving a lot of trouble.
Margaret, you do the same to Ray. Okay? You guys got a thing going. Anyway, this thing about Intercall. Are we going to have Intercall this year?
Well, I believe so, but as you will have seen in the article I shared with you, and you helped me put it together. I would think that it is frightening in the sense that, I mean, the teachers have taken a stand, and you know that's a legitimate stand. I mean, they have asked their members to continue to respect the work to rule. If that is done to the maximum, or even to 80%, just about everything will be affected. I mean, you could put out what you want on the TV and radio because you control it and create a nice facade. But the reality is, I'm in Tantine. I'm not seeing the population that I usually see at this time of the year. In fact, I cannot recall have seen a sport in Tantine this year. Last year, not last year, 2017 or 2018? 2018. The first week of school, I think, one of the schools in Northeast, maybe Bolio, or one of them had their sport in Tantine. So in actual fact, the first week of school, you saw the start of primary school sports. I can't recall really seeing, except there are some young ones from PVC who may have, Crafter Games aspiration, and there's a young man named Lee. He has about 30 plus. I'm not seeing great. I can't recall a scene, even George, across country or any event outside of, the ministry had the annual cross country season. But George, to me, things are not right and not what they ought to be. If you look back on 2017, 2018, there was a greater spirit momentum. Now, as I said to you in that column, we normally would have, and believe it or not, 101, 105 sports meet. I mean, some of them are quite a number are pre-primary, primary, secondary, and then the National Association. But the important thing that people should keep in mind, it all starts at the pre-primary level. Yes, it's Lyman Spoon and it's fun, but these kids begin to find passion there. Their parents are in large numbers, just about mother, father, grandfather, whatever it is, they show up. So you begin to build a clientele from that early stage. Now, if the teachers are not at their peak in terms of volunteerism, because we just paying for a little piece of their work, and the biggest part of the teacher's performance is that volunteer. Say what you want. Without them, that engine ain't going to work, That engine not going to work. You need a mechanic at regular intervals. So I would hope, and as I said in the column, that I hope, we can recognize that the few dollars that we took from their salaries, to me, we should refund it, with the sense that it's for the greater good. Not a conceding to the teachers, but to recognize there's a greater good. George, you know it too. People sometimes do you things that you really wonder, why have that happened to me? And then you said, let's just forget it. You lend a man some dollars, he doesn't pay you back, and then he abuses you. You could go to court, but then you say, look, let's forget that. So I'm saying,
been there, done that.
That's correct. So the state should recognize that, the politicians may look as heroes, and yes, you can get numbers to put you back there, and you come out a hero. But what's the end result? The end result is that we would have lost maybe a number of talented athletes who would have started at pre-primary, into primary and secondary, and maybe go on to be superstars in the region and around the world. So I think the government needs to think about that. And I would hope that civil society, which involve the churches and others, take an active role in that. Day of prayer is good, but that one, just like the child who was, killed, unfortunately, that's making the rounds. I hope we as a society recognize that individualism is growing, and maybe we all happy to be individuals on our own. But look what is happening around us. It doesn't augur well for tomorrow.
I'm sitting here listening to you speak, and it seems to me like what you're saying is, government have a conscience. Have a conscience. Because, I mean, this is not just for the benefit of the athletes. Sure, they're going to benefit from this, but government benefits from it. The country benefits from it.
Tourism benefits from it.
Yeah.
I mean, as I said to you several times, I was in Germany about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And there were 190 countries at the meeting. And some was still saying, where's Grenada? And when you said Kurani James, and then you said Anderson Peters, well, they were all in the world of sports, so those are familiar territory. So that in itself tells you how important it is. The reason why Barbados seems to attract more English people than anywhere else in the Caribbean, it goes back from the cricketing days, the Weeks and the Worrell and whoever they are, and the Walcott, and then the Gary Sobers, and the impact they left on the world of cricket in particular. People are curiosity. Let me go see this little island that doesn't even have 1 million people, 250,000. I mean, how could they be producing people at the top of the world? I mean, that's what, you know, people are enthusiastic about. Not thinking that there's a Goliath in Grenada. People know there's no Goliath in Grenada. There's no Goliath in the world. At some point, you go dead.
You know, never did I dream that I would see the day when our sports people have such high profiles. I mean, look at Anderson, look at Kirani and others.
Yeah.
These guys just out of nowhere, Ray?
That's correct. And look at the villages, as I say to people, look at the areas that are producing them. It's not Lancipine, it's not Fort Judy.
Yeah.
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 I mean, gun battle. People ask.
Yeah.
So that tells you that the teaching profession is so important because he didn't jump out of the sky and started in GBSS. He started at the pre-primary level. So George is something that the society in its entirety, whatever you can do to influence your parliamentary representative or leaders to quietly say to them, look, there's so much, I mean...
recognize our potential.
That's correct. I mean, you know, I listened to that debate and Trump oftentimes good entertainment as far as I'm concerned. He beats up on Obama for conceding to Iran. We're not conceding for whatever the agreement is, and says we were better without them. Well, we see what is happening now. We see what is happening now. So we sometimes have to find a way to negotiate and to live, hopefully, in peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is happening now? The teachers have taken a stand, and there are some teachers, whether you like it, are like me. I'm going to bat with the organization that represent me at all costs. I'm going to bat. So there are a lot of them. There are others who will vacillate and put Christianity in front, and you know. But there is something that society needs, and society needs a balance. And to me, the state is not willing to see us have that balance. It seems to see that there's a strong one and a powerful one who can call the shots, and everybody else fall in line.
Well, you know, there's another issue that I want to take up with you, and this has to do with a recent meeting between the civil society organizations and the electoral office. I'm sure you heard about that meeting just a couple of days ago, and it falls right in line with what you're saying. You know, there are those who just feel they wield the power, and therefore things go the way we say. Never mind you who elected us and who pay us to do certain things. We do what the hell we want to do. You know?
Well, you know, George, as I said again, politicians go and come. The society, civil society, whether you like it or not, it's on most solid ground, because political parties, we'll appreciate the U.S. and the United States, they have long-standing political parties. But if you look at the Caribbean, not many of our political parties have really stood the test of time. For whatever reason, there seems to be a pro, new ones emerge and take over, and then you wonder where is the continuity. I'm saying that it's a pity we don't show more respect to civil society in Grenada. We seemingly, we win the elections. You won nothing. You really represent maybe 2 or 3 persons. And then they brand you quickly that you're on this side and you're on that side. And therefore, you don't have much weight whether the issue that you are debating has great merit. And whether we like it or not, I'll say to people, anywhere I go, I am not apologizing for that. In most of the small islands, elections are won through bribery. There's no question about that in Grenada. A lot of it is through bribery. I'm not saying I can't provide you with evidence, but I can, well, let me put it, the hard evidence that you may ask for. But when you're giving people fridges and stoves and I can't give, and you selling passport and I don't know who come here. So let's get that clear. Let's get that clear.
One of the issues the CSO raised with the supervisor of elections, acting supervisor of elections this past week, is that can you believe at the end of this month, the voter registration card becomes ineffective? That's it, end of this month, okay? They only waited until, what, a couple of weeks ago to tell people that? Yeah. Huh?
In the beginning of the process, the 28th of February?
Yeah.
20th?
Somewhere there.
Yeah.
I mean, that is insane. And civil society also raised the point that there are certain things about the process that need to be reformed. And 2 of the things they pointed out were the recommendations coming from people like the OAS, the Organization of American States, and CARICOM, regarding the reforms that need to be done. And look at the same reforms were advocated in Dominica, not done, and they went ahead and had elections. How can Joe Blow, public, have any confidence in the electoral process? And not only the electoral process, but Ray, how can we now have confidence in the OAS and CARICOM when they come here like, big shots? We're here to monitor your elections, and then they say, okay, folks, this is what needs to be done, and it's not done.
Well, I never take these 2 groups very seriously, to be fair with you. Having served on that civil society for about 2 or 3 elections, and I wasn't in any political party, so you may assume what you want to assume. But these recommendations, they just repeat themselves year after year. And the one that we talk about with the voter ID, and people show up to vote without it. I just can't understand that one. I just can't comprehend that.
What is the sense of an ID if it's not going to be used?
It's correct. You turn up and George say this is Ray Roberts. Yes, that is also a part of the game. But there is something that we give Ray Roberts to show up and make provision for if it is lost, how he can have it replaced within 48 hours. The technology is there. So I really think this, to me, is more of a charade. With due respect to these guys, I think it's a good recognition of the fact that you have some talent and we send you to the Caribbean or we send you wherever it is. And that's it. I don't think it's a meaningful thing. Because you look at this thing, as I say, with the citizenship by investment thing. And you can't interfere with a country internal, I would suppose, a governance. But if they're not implementing what you recommend, then as an OAS, you could at least reprimand them. You could at least reprimand them. Let the region know that, Grenada, the OECS, whichever the countries are. But we're not doing anything. It's just the recycling of the same, our friend Brian Pitts, he had an idea about declare a source of funding or something like that. I'm trying to remember the whole sentence because I liked it. And I think Brian been saying that almost 20 plus years.
Identify campaign financing.
Something like that, right? You see any effort anywhere?
No.
To me, it's more dirty my money that we have given the green light to come.
Yeah.
People may ask me, but as I say, people, just tell me if there's the passport business, the shrimp factory, all of that, clearly, I mean, if the state does its work and provide an investigation, I think we'll get all the hard facts.
Ray, what scares me is that this is going to snap. This is not something I started yesterday or a day before. This has been going on for a little while, but I think people are becoming more acutely aware that it is happening. And I fear that people are going to snap one of these days.
Well, I will hope so, but I'm not too sure that enough people are willing to speak out or to appreciate the fact that fairness is important to a society, a community. I think, I meet people who tell, they tell, there's a young fellow we go to church, not really young, but he is maybe 50, 51. He says to me, Ray, I say, were you taking communion every Sunday? He says to me, Ray, I don't see what you see. I just walk. So I say, how do you ignore this? He says, Ray, you want to see and you want to hear? I don't hear the news, I don't see anything. I just do what I have to do.
Yeah.
So he's happy that he's part of the system, enjoying the niceties, and is not prepared to go any further than his individual successes.
All right, Ray, I've kept you long enough, but there are a few comments that I want to share with you. First of all, Anthony DeRiggs, we're just going back a little bit. Anthony DeRiggs says, Ray, Grenada always had talent. Remember people like Leroy Brown, who was such a great swimmer? He used to win the swimming races from Grand Dance to the Carenage. You remember that? Yeah?
Tall, dark guy.
He says he was Olympic material. Donald Peer, with the proper coaching, could have accomplished more.
I would agree with that. He did show some semblance of it when he defeated Fred Newhouse, who was the U.S. Olympic champion. That's in Trinidad in 1976 or 74, somewhere around there.
Okay. Now, a little earlier on, we were talking about fire sticks and this and that. Judy Benoit, I'm sure you know Judy. I mean,
yeah, very pleasant young lady.
Yeah, I bumped into her one day last week for the first time in ages. So good to see her. Judy says, good morning, Ray. I'm prepared to give you and George a lesson in modern technology.
She learned it from her son.
Oh, her son?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty smart guy.
Okay.
Judy, thanks for the, we'll take it.
We'll take it. Now, listen to this. Pele Darbo, he ain't done with us. Pele says, Margaret, it is easily accessible. A fire stick is $29.99 US. That's $30 US. That's about $81 EC, I would imagine. An Amazon Firebox. Hold on. An Amazon Firebox is about $49.99 US. That's $50 US. That's about $135 EC. Okay? She says, Margaret, more and more folks are acquiring them locally compared to the monthly cable rates, and it makes excellent economic sense.
See, I said to you, Pele is not retired. Pele is an economist. Pele is a consultant at home, eh?
Well, I'm the one who's been doing the math, but he's the one who's being very creative here. And Pele, I mean, those prices you quote there, I may be able to afford one of those, eh, Ray?
Yeah.
We could chip in and...
Okay, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are people who come and set it up for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thing is, I don't have a lot of time to watch
Me
that
too.
kind of stuff.
That's the thing. I don't have a lot of time to
Really don't have a lot of time. Paley then says to Judy, yes, Judy, love your spirit, spirit of willing to help. And Judy responds by saying, thank you, Paley Darbo. You can join me. The more the merrier. So Paley and Judy coming knocking on your door to set up your sticks for you. Okay. Then Margaret Francis chimes in. She says, Paley, I know but was speaking more about, I was speaking more from a philosophical viewpoint of the information technology rich versus the information technology poor. So that means a whole set of people are now being excluded from things that were once free. And that is worldwide, eh? Can't help it. It's the communication journalist part in me that recognizes the importance of access to info in development and democracy. That's Margaret, you know. She has a brain like a ticker. The thing never sleeps, you know. It just keeps going.
Well, as I said, I see magic occurring in front of me just about every day with these cell phones and accessing things that I never thought perhaps possible. And I'm learning. I'm not prepared perhaps to spend too much time because really and truly, I don't know that I need all this.
Yeah.
No, I don't need all this. I mean, I would say a lot of it a waste of time.
I'm
And
not-
the world may be better off without a lot of it too.
Yeah.
No
yeah.
doubt about it. I mean, I again pay attention to how some of our young people spend a day just going through these things. I mean, I ask myself at the end, wouldn't it be better if you were learning carpentry, masonry, or whatever it is? But I
It's
mean,
become an obsession
This
for a lot of people.
I call it a way to waste your God-given talent.
You know, I understand where you're coming from, Ray, but as somebody who's part of that myself, I mean, I would say yes. Technology brings us an awful lot of conveniences, awful lot. But you know something, Ray? Technology killing a lot of people on a daily basis. People are going bonkers because of technology.
Well, let's take the cable news, not just CNN. I mean, I would say 60-70% of it, total nonsense. Trump. Iran. And it's just a cycle of, George, I limit myself using, accessing these things. Because to me, it's just rhetorical. I don't know how much it represents the real world.
Because a lot of it's fake news. We hear a lot about fake.
I don't know how much is.
Speaking about fake news, let me give you an example. I spoke about this yesterday. Fake news. Somebody sent me a little audio clip on WhatsApp a couple of days ago, talking about a couple of things. 3 things, actually. 1, the fact that apparently the fish in the sea are now leaving the ocean. Wait a minute, Ray, hold on a minute. Leaving the ocean and running up on land to escape. There's radioactivity taking place under the ocean out there. Okay? Ray, they also sent a video which was supposed to substantiate that allegation. You know what the video was? Apparently in Martinique, some fishermen decide they're going out and do, I think, what they call trawling, fishing. And it's illegal. You're not supposed to go out with these long nets, sometimes by 2 boats. Drag nets or whatever. Okay. And they brought in all these boats. And so people have gathered at the beach when all this fish come in, okay? And they claim that these fish running ashore. Okay, that's 1. 2, they claim that there was a tidal wave in Aruba.
All right.
This weekend. When I heard that, I mean, I'm somebody who's very concerned about the environment and the weather and so on. So I start searching, I start Googling all over the place. Margaret also saw that, and apparently she started Googling. She ain't come across nothing, as neither did I. And then, lo and behold, somebody from Aruba showed up on our program yesterday morning, and we asked him. It's not true.
Okay.
It's not true. There is one thing that got quasi right. The person in this audio said there were 2 earthquakes in Puerto Rico. Well, there weren't 2 earthquakes. There have been a lot of earthquakes in Puerto Rico over the last week. So not even that they got right. those, excuse me, I don't want to use, I'm not going to use that word. I'm not going to use the word to describe these people, but it's repulsive.
And it's not going to change. It's not going to stop. There's a market for it.
Yeah. I don't know what she's referring to here, but Margaret says, Ray, those types are dangerous. It is exactly the type of apathy that has Grenada in the state it's in.
I don't find Grenada is any terrible state. I hear this thing every day. You know, let me tell you, I was in Trinidad last year by a friend, and he took me to some place. And I said, boy, I would prefer to be inside. He said, Ray, look, there are places here that have problems, but there are places here just as quiet as anywhere else. Neighborhoods and so. So I don't know what state Grenada is in. As I tell people, I would love to see democracy blossom a lot more. But I travel around Grenada. I don't know what state Grenada is in. That I should be really bothered to the point that maybe we're falling apart. I don't know. I mean, there are things that I would certainly want to see fixed. But I am not doom and gloom. I am not doom and gloom.
All right.
Yeah, I'm very much in society involved. I mean, last night we had a community meeting. There were 60 people there actively participating. The oldest was 81. The youngest was 18. So, you know, I don't know where people get all this doom and gloom. Yes, people want to see a better hospital. People want to see our resources channeled into perhaps more productive things.
Sure.
People want to see our environment at least better managed, the beaches and so. But I don't know about this doom and gloom. I mean, I listen sometimes, and that's why I'm telling you that I am not, again, as fascinated like 20 years ago. Because to me, it's just a set of hot air blowing to create a steam that doesn't really exist.
She says what she was referring to is the guy at the church. Okay. Margaret. You know, she said a little while ago, Ray, those types are dangerous. It is exactly the type of apathy that has Grenada in the state it's in. And she says, I said I didn't know what she was referring to. And she said she was referring to the guy at the church. But here's another comment from her. She says, Ray, don't blame cable. There's a lot of good stuff out there. However, from my observations, Grenadians are being severely shortchanged with the quality and quantity of available cable programming.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, so do I.
We are culturalized into some of the things that are bad for us, and that's where perhaps we're going bad. I mean, George, I still have to commend the Ramona people for stopping what I consider was a nonsense on Sunday. Yes, people are enjoying themselves, but are you going to promote that kind of behavior? It's good to see people having fun, but you're going to open a shop because everybody is drunk and George is rich and people seem to be enjoying. Is this something you want to promote? You know, I fought against wrestling. And Margaret would tell you when she was in school how much I championed against DJ making noise in sports. And that went out the window. That's one thing I can take some credit for. Because I thought you went to sport, and there were also the gambling side, the casino style thing, and kids were going and play. And I remember James Clarkson, who was very actively taking charge of getting people to cease that kind of activity in sports. And then eventually you saw none of that. So I'm saying there are some things you got to fight against.
Yeah.
It doesn't worth it.
Agree with you. Do me one favor, partner.
Tell me.
Stop saying George Grant is rich.
Oh, and George is just like me, very poor.
Ray. There are people out there that believe you when you say things like, especially coming from a man like Ray. They believe you, Ray. George Grant still coming right on the side of the road and taking bus.
All right. Yeah. Well, we both are retirees, eh? And I'm going on by the NIS now to make sure I get it this month. I can't find my card. So, so I'm going to tell the lady when I can't find the card. So, my dear, see what you can find that I can identify that I'm living. You know, every year you have to do a death certificate. So I'm going on there to make sure.
Prove you're alive.
I hope Margaret don't say that It may be fake.
Thanks a lot, Ray.
Good to see you, man. And
As
wonderful,
always.
Peely,
Eh?
Margaret, and others who participated. Always wonderful.
These guys, I mean, don't you understand why I can't wait to come and sit in this chair in the morning? I mean, these people out here, they're wild. They're wild.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, my friend.
Good,
Don't
my
go,
brother.
don't go, don't go, don't go.
Right.
Hang on a sec. Folks, parting word before we pull the plug. It's now 20 minutes after the hour. Today's inspirational reading comes to you from the second book of Corinthians, chapter 6, verses 3 to 10. We put no stumbling block in anyone's path, so that our ministry will not be discredited. Rather, as servants of God, we commend ourselves in every way, in great endurance, in troubles, in hardships, in distresses, in beatings, imprisonments, and riots, and hard work, sleepless nights, and hunger, and purity, understanding, patience, and kindness, in the Holy Spirit, and in sincere love, in truthful speech, and in the power of God, with weapons of righteousness in the right hand and in the left, through glory and dishonor, bad report and good report, genuine, yet regarded as impostors, known, yet regarded as unknown, dying, and yet we live on, beaten, and yet not killed, sorrowful, yet always rejoicing, poor, yet making many rich, having nothing, and yet possessing everything. Check it out yourselves, my friends. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, 3 to 10. That's going to do it. Let me see here. Judy says, yes, Ray, but those were the days when institutions and departments were allowed to function. Yeah. My dear friends, on that note, Georgie Porgy's going to pull the curtain down with sincere thanks for time well spent this morning. As always, we do appreciate your presence. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow morning for the next edition of Good Day Grenada.